G'day everyone. Proud to say Barkarati is brought to you by Radix Nutrition, makers of the most technically comprehensive nutrition products that have ever existed. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners. Welcome to Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to talk to some really cool sailors. But of course, I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, Exalted One.
BP.
Good morning, world. It is morning here, might add. Looking forward to a good chat today. I'm actually sitting in my car because my internet's not working in the house. So, Bicey, you can rip into me in terms of my technology prowess.
I would never do that. Oh, shit. Sorry. Go, Jordan.
Let's bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice.
I wonder if he's here.
Wolverine purr.
Is there any crickets?
You had that intro fully set up, didn't you? Ready to go with the crickets. But I'm back, boys.
You beauty.
Oh, shit. What can I say? I reckon we could almost just do a separate podcast on all the little Barkaratians that I've met the last couple of weeks. The timings just haven't worked with sailing and...
Bloody sailing gets in the way of a good podcast, doesn't it?
Boutique hotels, and apparently I'm pretty loud. So when I do have an evening phone call or something back with NZ whilst in Europe, the whole Galatar crew know exactly what's going on at Southern Spas.
Which new masts are being built for which boat?
Exactly.
What the rib tensions are on your opposition.
Top secret technology.
Love it.
But we could almost just do our own little episode and just a few little isms, and maybe we could do that for our
last week, Bicey.
For all our patrons.
We talked about this last week. We talked about it. We said we could interview Bicey.
Yeah, well, there's plenty going on. We thought about it, but that's not what we're doing this week.
No. We've
got an interesting one this week. I'm pretty fired up. I've been trying to get this, and it's timed out almost perfectly. Obviously, the Moth Worlds are not far away. We're into foiling week, I think, this week. So Lake Garda in Italy is having a busy time, and we're just a week or two away from the Moth Worlds. And it's pretty interesting in terms of what we've seen in moths over, the last generation, to the extent that the last World Champs, which are in Manly in New Zealand, not Manly in Australia, not Manly in New South Wales, not Manly in Queensland, but Manly in New Zealand. It was a domination of the youth. Those sort of rap music listening, scooter riding, youth.
Scooter riding. Come on.
But what happened was...
Tech-savvy influencers.
Well, yeah, all those influencer types, you'd think they couldn't get away from looking at themselves in the phone, but they did, and they got out there and they dominated. And
Domination. Absolutely.
It was all youth. And I'm sort of interested to see how that's going to play out at the Worlds, because I tell you, the winner of the last Worlds in the Moth is the first non-America's Cup skipper to win the Moth Worlds since 2014. I went right back through the results. So... I'm wondering if our guest today is...
I don't think our guest even knew.
Has ambitions.
I could see the look on his face go, oh, wow. America's Cup job guaranteed now. Here we go. Anyway, so our guest today is the winner of the last World Champs, setting up and training for the new World Champs. Please welcome to Barkarati, Mattias Coutts. How are you, mate?
All good, thank you guys. I'm actually not sure that the facts are correct there with 2014, because I'm pretty sure that was won by Nathan Outridge, which he is a skipper in America's Cup team. So I'm pretty sure it was 2013. You mean?
Oh,
I think.
I mean,
Jordan Spencer only does it from memory, so
yes,
we can let him up a little bit.
Hey, Mattias, have you heard of AI? Well, Jordan is the actual brain behind AI. It all comes from there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Mattias, first off, congratulations on that World Championship win. How good was that? That was your home club. That's a pretty amazing performance.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Obviously, yeah, was super happy with that. It was a lot of effort and time put into that, and actually a lot of sort of hard knocks prior to that. I think I had a lot of like close to winning regattas, but not quite winning regattas for like a couple of years straight. So yeah, I was obviously super stoked to get that done. That's for sure.
Well, I assume right now you, as you know, given the communications we've been having over the last few weeks, you are just training your little ring off, getting ready for this World Championships.
Yeah, it's been a little bit different for me coming into this time. I haven't quite had. I don't want to be making excuses here because I'll get ripped out. I can just see that I'll get ripped out, but I definitely haven't had the same amount of time so far going into this World Championships, and I think that's definitely showed. I've some of the guys here have been putting in a lot of effort, and they're so far have been going pretty good against me.
Oh mate,
I've been
that is 100% the typical Kiwi underdog right there. They're going to get a soundbite just played across the boat park. 100%.
Yeah. Some bad manoeuvres and stuff I've been doing as well. I can tell you that much. I'm pretty sure some of the people at the club's got a couple of good ones on because in Malchesney where the moths are being held, all the boats come all the way into the breakwater and do manoeuvres right off the breakwater. And I did one the other day, and I spun a tack and pretty much fell straight out the side of the boat, right in front of everyone sitting on the shore.
Did they hold up? Did you get score a 8, 9, 10? Hold up their little cards for you?
I wish. I think that would have made me feel quite a lot better. But nothing.
I love it.
No applause, no nothing.
Back to Manly. I mean, we'll go way further back than that, but was obviously being at your home club. Was that on the radar for 3, 4, 5 years? 1 year? How'd it kind of pan out? That kind of in your head you were going for the home champs to win?
Yeah. I mean, I guess over time, like for me anyway, I've sort of like, you sort of slowly and incrementally increase your sort of goal setting. I mean, I guess my mindset's just sort of changed in the past couple of years, just as your confidence sort of grows and your ability grows, and I mean, you just sort of like every event that you sort of go into, what I do now, and I'm trying to win the event, whereas before, or have the confidence that I'm able to win the event, and whereas before it was not having that confidence and also probably not having the ability. But I think I have both of those two things now, which are important, I think. So yeah.
So kind of the stars align quite nicely with the ability, the youth cockiness, the full banter to all the everyone on the water. That port tack start, which was just an absolute fucking blinder. But so good.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Element of folklore written there. Element of folklore written.
Oh, it's how it starts.
Yeah.
Hey, well, we should do the obvious question. I mean, how did you get into sailing? Was there anybody else in your family interested in sailing? Or?
Obviously Dad, obviously, but my brother passed through prior to me. He was an interesting case, I reckon, because he had way more natural talent than I did, for sure. But he had a lot of other stuff going on. He sort of got into sailing quite late, and he had a lot of other stuff going on. And no, he didn't end up pursuing it, unfortunately, because as I said, he was very naturally talented. But obviously, Dad, yes, of course, that's the reason. Probably one of the reasons I got into it, or he forced me into it. Maybe you could say.
I just wonder, like obviously, was it something? Like you can almost, it goes either way, doesn't it? Like in that situation, you either just don't want to have a bar of it, or you're definitely into it, And I'm intrigued. Was there ever any pressure, or was it just come down if you want, sort of thing? How was the approach?
Nah, there was. I would say there's probably a bit of both. Like a little bit of pressure involved. Like always that especially when I was early. But I'm pretty thankful for, especially when I was early. You know, like early on, like 6-7 years ago. Like there was that sort of little bit of pressure of like, oh, you know, if you quit, you're kind of a quitter, or you know, like you're no good if you quit, and that was sort of the mentality that gets drummed into you. You know, I remember vividly actually. This would have been 6 years ago. It was my first nationals in a 29er, and we didn't finish a race because we snapped our Jenica halyard or something, and it was a windy race or something, and we sailed into the beach. And I remember it vividly. Like Dad came back on shore, sort of not knowing where we'd gone. It was the last race of the day, but he came back on shore and he said, "You guys are absolutely pathetic. You know, you should never not finish a race. This is it." My dad would have sent me back out there and got me to finish the race back in the day. You guys, you know, but absolute pack of wimps, you know. I remember that vividly, and that sort of set the tone, I guess you could say.
Don't worry, mate.
So definitely a little bit,
We've
a little bit of pressure, definitely. Yeah.
We've all been on the receiving end of that from your dad. Don't worry.
I can imagine also. There would have been no shortage of your old man's mates giving their bits of advice throughout your career also.
Oh, for sure, you know. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's very true, you know. Well, fair enough, though. I mean, most of his mates are pretty legendary. So, yeah.
So what did you go out on first? What's your first memory, mate, of sailing? Like for you, not the step away from the dad thing, but
I tell you what, I've got a very good first memory of sailing. Well, it's not a very good one, but because I actually almost drowned. But this is a very vivid first memory. I was out sailing an Optimist when I was 7, and I've got two. I'll share the first one. The first one first. So I was out sailing an Optimist, and Dad didn't have a rib or chase boat at all at this stage, so he actually used to paddle around in a kayak, which is well and truly fast enough to keep up with an Optimist, or especially an Optimist sailor at my level back then. And so he used to paddle around in a kayak, and there were two of us, me and one of my good friends, were out sailing, and I capsized, and I had those life jacket clips where it's sort of like the straps all the way across your life jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, as I righted the boat, I managed to hook one of those straps with the centerboard and actually pulled the centerboard up. So I got trapped underneath the boat, and obviously the life jacket then floated me back up underneath the boat. And yeah, I was trapped under the boat, and he didn't notice. Luckily, I don't know how it happened, but one of the straps unclipped, and I managed to get out and float towards the surface. But because obviously I was only 7, and I was probably doing the complete wrong thing by just totally panicking.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah,
what felt like a couple of minutes was probably only 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Your whole life flashes through you, right? It was all good.
Your whole life.
Mrs. Parker in grade 1, what a bitch.
No more mud to throw. All them rocks we used to throw down the park. Oh, God damn
it. Yeah. And my second memory, it's quite funny because both of these memories you wouldn't exactly say are the most, you know, happy or anything. But anyway, the second memory I had was we did the Sir Peter Blake regatta. I think it was my second Optimist regatta, and I was sailing in the Green Fleet. And anyway, I didn't really know where to go as I went off the shore, so I ended up following the lasers, and their course was probably like 4 kilometers offshore. And I got halfway out there, and somehow I managed to pitch pole the Optimist. Fully filled it up with water, and obviously crying, you know, didn't know what to do, you know, wanted to go home. Dad comes out. At this time he did have a rib, and he actually, luckily, probably thankfully for his fin day sailing, he was able to pull the Optimist full of water up onto the support boat and drain it all out. And but I managed to carry on after that, and I think I Port tax, didn't even know where the start line was, but port tack the fleet in the Optimus green fleet and was like 4th or 3rd to the top mark. So
Timed it beautifully. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's an interesting pathway, like it sounds like it's got to be windy to pitch pole and Opti. But that's New Zealand though, isn't it? Unless it's
Mate,
50.
out in the Rangitoto Channel.
Yeah,
Mate, anything can happen out there.
I was quite far out.
It was. Yeah.
Like quite far offshore, I remember. Yeah. Totally an accident.
So have you always enjoyed it?
Oh, I mean, I can't say that you always enjoy it. Like, I mean, obviously, I think there are people that always enjoy it, but there's times when you're just like, screw this, to be honest, and you don't really want to do it. But I mean, those are usually the times when you've got to get out there and, especially if you want to be good, got to get out there and just sort of push through it. It's kind of how it is.
So
what, speak of the pushing through, how old are you now? 20?
19.
19.
I'm not 20 yet.
Yeah. Of what kind of happens from the Optimus? What for you? What was the next? Straight into the 29er?
No, I actually sailed a boat called a Bic, which most.
The Bics.
I don't know.
Big sport,
yeah, which like quite a lot of kids at that time sort of transitioned from the Optimus to the Bic because it was sort of a little bit faster than the Optimus. Just a little. You didn't have to do any bailing. You didn't have to do any of that carry on. And, it was just a different class, and some kids found it more fun. So I sailed a little bit of that, and then I went through the 29er pathway. After that, I got too big for the 29er when I was probably 15. Actually, it was almost 15. By the time I was just about to turn 16, I was 82 kilos or something, so way too big for the 29er. And then sort of got out 16, didn't get in the 49er until probably late 16, and then into the 49er and did the was lucky to do the Wasp through that, and then into the Moth, quite early as well. So yeah.
And you're still doing the 49er now, right? As well.
Still doing the 49er now.
Yep.
Yeah. I've partnered up with I don't know whether you guys probably might know Oscar Gunn. So
Gunny.
We're sailing together now.
Oh, Aussie.
Yeah.
Love it.
Did you say Aussie?
Yeah, mate. No way. You get a punch in the nose and walking down the beach in NZ for that.
Aussie gun.
Isn't it?
Yeah. No. So the Moth, coming into the Moth, that's quite a technical boat. Lots of things going on. Obviously, development. How did you play that game? Did you come in and just pick off the shelf what was going fast, or have you been doing a full development program? Have you got the full program going on at home? Like you're doing a lot of development stuff?
No, not really. I mean, for the New Zealand Worlds, definitely did a fair bit more, and I mean, I definitely just quite a lot of testing, of stuff like off the shelf, a couple different sails and a few different masts, and obviously the foils are very important. So just sort of testing a couple different things, and then really just I feel like a lot of what's missed in the Moth class is actually just the amount of time spent actually sailing the boat and learning the different modes. 100%. I feel like that's really overlooked in the Moth class. Obviously the gear is important, but the moding is, I would say, equally as important, if sometimes more important, actually, learning how to mold the boat correctly, which I think takes a very long time and really fine details and accuracy and everything like that. But
do you think that was the sort of difference in Manly? You spent a lot of time on that and found your boat handling and positioning a bit stronger because you started cracking again.
Yeah, I actually do think that was very important. Obviously, stuff like fitness in the Moth is important as well. And I felt like at the time my fitness level was pretty high. But yeah, I thought that the moding and stuff, like, there is just like fine things that you can sort of see after you get quite good at it. You can see that other people are doing what they're doing and what they're not doing, and just how it all sort of makes sense. And I think if you can really make sense of it in terms of like the physics side of things, then and get a good understanding through that way, or that works for me, then you kind of relate that to the sailing as you're sailing the boat and understand why and what to change when, and if it feels like that, you're changing that or whatever. So I think that was the most important, one of the most important parts, yeah, for sure.
Clearly, the equipment choice, though, is super important as well, to be aligned with that, and not just one by itself would win, but you need to combine the two. Do you give it I'll say this politically correct, do you give it the full Ineos approach and have 1,000 foils sitting on the floor, or the Team New Zealand approach in the sense that made very smart decisions by just having a couple which you knew were good to go with, so you didn't get too confused? Is that how the Moth Classic is at the moment?
I think that's exactly right. Now I think it's different because the foils are actually pretty similar now. Like, there's not they've changed the mold and at the with manufacturing, and they actually come out pretty accurate now. Like, before, there were subtle differences. Well, there probably still are very subtle differences, but not anything that's like ridiculously substantial. Like, if you guys saw what was going on here in Lake Garda, like, everyone's going quite a similar sort of speed. It's different to what sort of happened in the past. Like, everyone's relatively similar. Like, there are subtle differences, but there are, like, everyone's within sort of 100, 200 meters of each other most of the time, which is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, so cool.
It's definitely, it brings a very different aspect, but
one design sailing in the Moth.
One design.
Almost, yeah. There's definitely, as I said, there's definitely still, little differences, and there's probably some people out there sandbagging or whatever, but it's good.
How are you feeling coming into these worlds? Obviously, carrying the target on your back a bit, that you've you are a world champion. Is that putting some applied pressure on, or are you just taking it as that comes, cruising along?
I'm pretty relaxed about it, to be honest. I mean, I kind of know that I haven't had as much time as, and then I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just sort of, trying to learn as much as possible and get back into the boat and sort of figure things out a little bit again and whatever. But I feel like I'm going to be fast enough, so it's just going to be about sailing well enough for me. So I'm not sort of too stressed about it, to be honest. It's just, I know what it takes, and
we wouldn't relate to this, BP and Jordan, but kids these days, they don't get stressed out. Just going for a yacht, having a good time.
That's right.
Relax.
Come on. First off, I've spent a bit of time with your dad. That man is a perfectionist, and he's very intense. Everything is detail orientated, and I'm just wondering if you've got any of that genetic material in you at all. You've got to be sort of wired. You've got to be wired. Like, it's got to be perfect.
Yeah, I think so. But I think, like, don't get me wrong. Like, if my boat could be absolutely perfect, I would have it absolutely perfect. But as I've sort of said before, I think there are other things that are important on the boats too, that you can't, to the fact that you can't sort of spend all your time getting, in my opinion, your boat absolutely perfect. Like, you've got to spend more, well, you can, but like, you've got to spend more time sailing it as well, and that's equally, in my opinion, more important. Like, it might.
So you're not a perpetual 3 mil Dyneema splicer then?
Yeah. No, I am, because you have to do that in the Moth. But my boat work is probably not quite as good as well, definitely not quite as good as some of the guys, and they'd tell you that's for sure. Some of the guys are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
all their day.
what's the cool kit? Well, the fast kit in the Moths at the minute, as far as foils and rigs and sails and stuff like that. Boats, for that matter.
I mean, the Mackay boats, the Beaker boats are pretty blooming good, I'd say. The new Exploder Moths that they've got going are going pretty good as well, from what I've seen. And then rigs, sails, you'd have to go with the North sail, the Helix. That's definitely, in my opinion, the best sail on the market.
Are they 3DI in the Moth?
They are 3DI, yeah. They're 3DI. And then the rigs, I don't know. There's a big split right now between the CST composite rigs and the CTEC composite rigs. I'm using CTEC.
Yeah, well,
New Zealand, right there.
Exactly. So it makes it pretty interesting. But to be honest, I think they're pretty similar, actually. And they might not like me saying that, but I actually think they're relatively similar. And foils, believe it or not, the same foil that won the Worlds 4 years ago in the Moth is still a very much so performance foil, and it's still fast. So they've made slight changes to that foil, but it's definitely still very fast.
Now, I hate to keep referencing your old man here, but does he ever say, when I used to sail the fin, and he gets a stick with a bit of sandpaper to put it up inside your mast to make it a little bit softer, like they used to do on the fins, just to sand the inside of the mast out?
I had no idea about that, to be honest. But he hasn't been doing. To be honest, he takes a big step away from the boatwork side of things. I don't know whether he'd like me saying this, but he is shocking at boatwork, like the worst. So that's why I was quite surprised when he said he's a perfectionist.
Explains all the rigs coming down.
Some things. Yeah, he's a perfectionist with out on the water things, but I can tell you what, back in his America's Cup days, he was not. He was the person that was walking down after all the pre-work had been done, and he was stepping on the boat and going straight sailing. He wasn't involved in any of the rigging or de-rigging, that's for sure.
Well, we do have to touch on one thing, Mattias. Obviously, more and more, the interesting thing about the Moth is I'm picking up a couple of things. So the gear's sort of stabilising. It's all about how you sail the boat. But there is one thing that I think that the Moth brings into the equation, which is aerodynamics. To the speed you're going, a bit of aerodynamics is important. And I'm just wondering, obviously a lot of our cuzzy bros from New Zealand run a good mullet. And I'm wondering, have you sacrificed your mullet for the purpose of aerodynamics there, mate?
No, I've actually just rocked my first. I don't know whether you can see it.
The fade.
Mullet here.
Yeah.
Apparently, a mullet's good for the air.
Yeah, I wondered.
So I don't know. You get it, but we all wear helmets now, anyway. So we have to wear helmets. So there's no more hair out.
But that's where the mullet stands out.
Oh, it's where the mullet comes into its own, a bit of kick back under the back of the helmet.
Because it's kind of like the front wing of a Formula One car. The way it's morphing now, as you get faster, the mullet lifts and creates lift. It's all perfect. It's
I'm not too sure about that one, but yeah, it's certainly something to try, maybe.
Hey, and you learn a lot on bar karate, Mattias. Trust me, mate. You got to trust me on that one.
Is anyone running the Brad Funk super suit these days?
Bring it on.
Well, Brad Funk's actually just arrived. I was speaking to him today. He's just had his first day down at the yacht club today. I actually don't know about
full
his
of super suits. Yes.
When did he used to run the super suit?
Oh, that would have been 2015 from memory.
Go up to him and ask him if you've got one.
The silver super suit.
Oh, I do remember, actually. I do. I remember the videos. Yes.
So Mattias, what we want to see,
back in the day.
what we want to see is Mattias Coutts in a super suit with a mullet wig and your helmet on, and that'll be a crack.
I'd have to grow it out. It's not long enough yet for that, but it doesn't stick out from the bottom of my helmet. I tell you whose mullet might work for that. I don't know whether you guys know of Jack Bennett, but he's a moth sailor here. He's from New Zealand, and he's got one of the filthiest mullets I've seen in the boat park.
Oh, he's got a bit of a program running. Love it.
Hey, I've got a story about a mullet in New Zealand.
That's for sure.
It's not a good one. I ended up waking up in a on the dance floor. Anyway, I'm just looking at the entry list here, Mattias.
That story was cut very short, actually.
Yeah. All right, I'll tell it.
Right. Go on, do tell.
I think we can guess.
A good friend of the show, Tyson Lamont, and we were down at Danny Doolan's, down the viaduct, and I saw this. We're chatting to these young ladies, and I said, "Oh, Auckland's just like Adelaide. Like, we've got some cool mullets around." And I was pointing to this guy, and that dude's got a cool mullet. And he walks up to me and goes, "What did you say?" And I said, "Oh, you've got a cool mullet." That's all I remember. Boom. Bice out.
Once we're warriors. Boom.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. There's rumours I might have stroked the mullet, but
yeah, that's marginal.
Hey, I'm just looking at the entry list. Coincidence or not, your name of boat or sponsor, Heat?
Yes.
What? And I noticed your mate, old Jack Bennett, Davo.
Yeah.
Sam Street,
Jack.
Barry. What's going on here?
Yeah, there's something going on there. Jack. Well, most of them are, I don't know whose Barry's named after. You have to ask Sam Street. I don't know who like Barry. I don't know where that
Barry
came from,
Crocker,
but anyway.
mate.
Barry Crocker, maybe.
Barry Crocker,
maybe, but
shocker.
Jack Bennett's boat's named after his dad. I know that.
Right.
And then my boat is actually named after my granddad. So that's where Pete comes from. Yeah.
Beauty.
Oh, that's
Good
interesting.
on your granddad.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely. I'm interested, like when you won the Worlds, right? Talking about not being stressed, sort of thing. Was that a stressful moment? Because remember the last day you had a bit of gear damage. I'm sure you remember that well. Like do you run?
I remember that very well.
Did you get stressed or then?
Yeah. So when I hit the shark and snapped pretty much broke both my foils. It was a big shark actually. Like, I reckon it would have been like a good 9 foot, 10 foot.
Oh, be careful what you say, mate. We got 9 footers as pets over here. So
yeah, that's probably dead true.
that is quite substantial, I'll say. Yeah.
Big. It was big for me anyway.
Big bastard.
For me, maybe not for you, but big for me. So I hit that. But then, to be honest, there's just not, like, at the time, there's not that much you can do about it. Obviously, you're worried, but there's not that much you can do about it. So in terms of, like, stress or anything like that, I wasn't actually that stressed, believe it or not. Like, I can tell you right now, Dad was very stressed. He was, yelling and screaming at everyone on the support boat. So, because it was quite hard to get the boat back to shore. But he was, I don't know what he was up to. But that's actually quite a good one. So when we got back to shore and we had to take the gantry off and replace the foils and everything like that, he thought I was for some reason quite nervous or stressed or something. So he actually went. And they had these really good ice creams on the shore at Manly Sailing Club, and he went and tried to order an ice cream for me, and we were just like, I knew what he was trying to do, but we were just like, well, what are you up to?
He was just being dad.
Funny.
It was a dad. It's a dad moment, Mattias.
Yeah, but he would. trust me, he would never usually do that. Like never usually.
Oh,
do
that hasn't been done since the
Uh,
2003 Cup final in Alinghi, when he walked in with 1,000 ice creams.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
And so anybody working with Russ, just it's a challenge. Everybody walk in with an ice cream for the next few months. Just bring an ice cream to the team meeting. Alex, if you're listening to me, Alex, buy some ice creams. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's nice of Dad, though. You know, it's good of him. He's.
I was very good about just time and place. You know
Time
what I
and
mean?
place.
But
Yeah.
it was very good. I had to get back out to the start, and I only got to the start with. I think I got to the start right as they put the 5-minute signal up for the second race. So any later, and I would have been probably quite bad off.
You're still.
Jeez,
you're
I'm
still,
looking at the end. Sorry, boys. I'm just looking at the entry list here. Quite the formidable bloody competitors you're going to have here.
Bloody always is, isn't it?
It's a great lineup.
Yeah, it is.
You were saying a few of the boys have just rolled into town. How far away are we? Like 2 weeks or something? So
Yeah, starts on the 7th. So yeah,
nice.
A little bit over 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I'm guessing the vibe's just building and people are coming to town and getting ready for the big show.
Yeah, exactly. We had Tom Slingsby rock up today, which was cool.
Who?
Yeah. Who? Yeah. Nice.
Sorry, go on.
No, that was we had a rock up today.
Yeah.
He's rigging his boat up, and yeah, he reckons his fitness is at a low level, which is just complete
Bullshit.
He's blooming. That's not true at all. But anyway, we'll see.
He's a bit of a brute, but he is in the fatherhood mode, so he's probably had a little bit of downtime.
He's probably gone soft.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the red tinge would counter that. Let's say.
Yeah, it won't take long for that mist to start.
Yeah, exactly. He used to be called the Red Mist back in the day, so maybe
it won't take long to start simmering off the forehead.
It hasn't gone away, but he's got no one to yell at on this boat unless he's with someone. He takes it seriously, old Tommy boy. He's pretty cool though. Good guy.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Who else you got, Bites? Throw in any other names you want to throw out there?
There's a little guy. You might have heard of him, Diego Botín.
Oh,
he's going to be there.
Yeah.
He sails well, that bloke. He goes all right for a young fella.
Yeah, he's a great. Ian Jensen, we know. Well, all the Aussies, we obviously clearly know their names.
Have the Aussies put any caught on with this boat name thing yet?
Yeah. There's a couple. Johnny Drama, that's Slingers. We've got.
Oh, Johnny Drama.
Goobs is the Polish girl. Not bad. And now I'm not sure whether that's the sponsor or the name of the boat.
It's just good to see Goobs going strong is all I'll say. Good on you, Goobs.
Yes. Good words.
Joel Scott, Paul Goodison.
Wow.
Just to name a few, of course.
So,
do
you like Mattias, when you're in the boat park, are you sort of a quiet bloke, or you're more into the
banter?
The banter.
Oh, I like a bit of banter, that's for sure. But I mean, like, I feel like if you banter all the time, you don't really get anything done. There's quite a lot to do on the
we found that. That's our downfall.
Oh, mate, I'll be fucked. I'd never leave the boat park.
The funniest part about Boise is they'll all be out sailing and he'll be there on his own bantering with himself.
You sound like my mate Jack. He stays at the boat park all the time. He always talks banter. I love it. It's great.
Oh, I forgot to put my mask up. Oh, what? Yeah, whatever.
Better have a beard.
Yeah.
So what's the program? So obviously you got the Moth World. So what's the rest of your sailing program for the next few years? What are you focusing in on, bud?
So after these Moth Worlds, I'll pretty much be solely focusing on the 49er for quite a while. Like, the goal is, the Olympics in 28. We've got to put on a solid effort for that. And yeah, so that's pretty much that'll be the focus for the next 3, 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, obviously, the 49er is another super high level boat to sail, right? In terms of, one design boat, everyone's doing everything perfectly on those boats nowadays. The level of execution is really high, and New Zealand team has got a lot of talent floating in there. Obviously, got a great record. It's not an easy path to the Olympics. It's probably the hardest path you can pick in terms of going through the New Zealand team, trying to get there in the 49er. So, what's the thought process there, mate? Like, is it going to be? Have you got a plan?
Oh, of course, yeah. But I mean, you've got to also set aside what's important. I mean, like, we want to, win at the Olympics when we go there. So I mean, you've got to work together as a team for a certain period of time to try and get as much of an advantage over the other nations first off as possible. I think that's really important. But I'm also, I think, really fortunate to have Oscar, who I'm sailing with. I think he's super talented and works really hard, which is exactly what I'm sort of looking for. So I think we've got every chance of going and doing well. We've got a long way to go, obviously, but yeah, I think we've got a good shot.
It's I mean, if you're super talented and quite professional, working with people that aren't, it can often drag you down.
What are you trying to say, Jordan Spencer?
Where's this going?
The other two knew straight away. No.
Basically, you've just got to fly like an eagle, as does Jordan Spencer, when he's surrounded by turkeys, as they say.
No, okay, so obviously Olympics is the goal. So that's a good one. Assuming that, the US is still, that 28 Olympics is going to be an interesting one.
Don't.
Yeah. Stopped. What about, like, from a career perspective, like, is sailing just your career now? Is that how it's working out for you? Or you got other things you got to do?
Yeah, I actually really like doing other things as well. I find I actually enjoy sailing more when I'm doing other things as well. So whether that's just working on something other than sailing, whether that's some sort of job or university degree or whatever. I haven't quite figured out exactly what that is because I was at university last year and decided to take these first 6 months off of university because I didn't enjoy what I did last year. So I actually find that I do enjoy it more when I'm doing that other thing, whatever that is. I still haven't figured it out, but hopefully I will.
So stick around after the show. Jordan will give you a bit of advice. Go down the finance lane, and you can just look at spreadsheets all day. That'll be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I can do that stuff now.
That's right.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah.
You've got.
I'm all over it. I am all over it. Loving it.
Yeah, no, it's quite the challenge. So, when you early on, you said at 16 you're 82 kilos. Obviously, growing up in New Zealand, there's other sport. There's 2 sports to choose from in New Zealand. Oh, 3. Sorry, I forgot netball. But there's 3 sports to choose from. One is sailing, the other is rugby, and then netball. I just wonder, if you hadn't sailed, what other sport would you have done?
Oh, that's a tough. Yeah, I obviously love rugby. I actually really enjoy basketball, although I'm not the right size for basketball at all. But that would be probably another one of my favourite sports actually. But
the New Zealand badminton team are pretty good, I hear.
Yeah.
Not surprised actually. Not surprised
with their nickname.
formerly known as what? Jordan Spencer?
This is true. This is definitely
Yes.
true. The nickname, like, a lot of work went into the New Zealand Sail GP name to come up with Black Falls.
Black Falls.
That's right.
That's right.
The All Blacks. The New Zealand badminton team original nickname was the Black Cocks. And that is true.
Oh, that's yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, right.
You had no idea what the fuck you were getting into, eh?
That was a nice segue, wasn't it? Sorry, Mattias. Welcome to Hilarity, the sailing podcast.
So basketball, are you still playing that sort of stuff, or you like?
Oh, I just enjoy it. I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I'm definitely not good at it, actually. I just really enjoy it. I think it's just a fun thing to do with a couple of mates. You go and,
gotcha.
you
it's
go
relaxation
foul
for
each
you.
other like crazy, and it gets way too competitive with my mates. But it's good.
One thing
I guess
basketball,
where you're heading. Sorry, Joe. I guess where you're heading is it's finding that balance. I mean, you're 19 years old, for Christ's sake. I mean, by the 19 years old, I didn't even know if I was alive. But 19, and you if you do too much of one thing, it does sort of get a bit monotonous. So finding that balance is important, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
one thing basketball brings, BP, I got to tell you, is the trash talk. Trash talking where you're in the ear of your competitor, right? And we've sort of alluded to it in this discussion, but we definitely love trash talk on the sailing race, like on the course, like we are all for it. In fact, we had a bit of a survey with all our listeners with the America's Cup. What thing would you change? The one thing you would change to improve the America's Cup, and it came back as the banter button. So when you're sailing along, you could push a button and you could get in the head of your next door neighbour, your competitor.
That would be pretty good, actually.
I agree. Yeah. And I mean, you could do it in the moss, but you got the Doppler effect in the moss because you go past each other so quick. You can't.
Yeah, Bicey's good at that. Bicey can give you a rundown on how that sounds.
It goes a little bit like this. Hello, motherfucker.
I tell you what, though, there is still plenty of banter in the moths. Like you tack right on top of someone every time. Whenever someone tacks, if they tack on top of another person, there's the old turnaround, the smile, or the wave, or all of the above. Or
it's like, why do you do that? Oh, it's called sailing, Max. You dickhead.
Yeah. There's plenty of or if you roll someone or someone rolls you, they're always bound to look straight at you and give you a wry smile or whatever. I don't know.
So
all sorts.
In the moth, mate, just we take all the technology stuff out of it. Like, you said things are getting pretty equal at the moment. You're talking about your modes. There's a lot of focus in on the modes. What's the secret to a moth? Is it that ability to hike and get the, hike harder than the next guy? Is it back to that sort of thing? That, or is it changing gears or what?
Yeah, I think hiking's. I mean, so it's exaggerating the moth because, it's like if you're able to have that much more riding moment than someone else. Riding moment's one of the key drivers of boat speed, and a moth, since you're powered up so quickly, as soon as you're the harder and longer you're able to hike than someone else's, it's obviously going to be better. There's just no other explanation to it. That's definitely important. But there's basic things. Well, not basic, but things that are really important, like starting's extremely important in the moths.
What about
all sorts of different things? But yeah,
what's the ideal weight these days?
The ideal weight I don't think has changed too much. It changes a little bit depending on the venue because again, just riding moment's so important. But so for example, in Perth, I think in 2019. I would have said the ideal weight would have been about 92 kilos. And then here I currently weigh sort of 85, 86, which I think's pretty good because it's not a very windy venue most of the time, Lake Garda. So, yeah, but quite heavy, I think you'd say, quite heavy.
Kind of semi-normal human size.
Semi-normal.
Yeah.
Normal.
Depends if it's been a big summer or not. Good.
And what about from a transition with the Niner, the 49er and the Moth? Like this, are you picking up anything out of your Moth sailing that you can bring into the 49er or vice versa? Is there anything sort of little tricks that you've sort of overlapped?
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely there's quite a few different little things that you sort of can transition. I mean, like some of the moding stuff I was talking about earlier is actually, believe it or not, transitionable to the 49er, I think, and has made a big difference in some conditions for us.
Right.
Yeah, the racing, some of the racing tactics are, quite a bit different. Some of them are quite similar. Yeah, I think it's very applicable to both boats. I would almost say more so if you were a crew. I steer the boat, but more so if you're a crew, because just the trimming and stuff that's needed and involved in a Moth is, like everyone sort of says how much their trimming improves when they sort of sail a Moth for a period of time.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
I reckon it would be reaction time. I think you'd find that if you've been on a Moth and you get on a 49er, your reaction time would have improved immensely, and so you're responding quicker to the minute things, because that's what 49ers are all about.
Yes, that's probably dead right. That's definitely probably a part of that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I've got a bit of psychological advantage for you, Mattias. So obviously,
I'm interested.
Yeah. No, this is
listen, don't worry, this is being recorded, so no one else will even know.
Yeah.
Yes.
With obviously the level of sailors that are going to be at the Worlds, with all the Cup sailors and Sail GP guys and stuff like that. If you want to put the pressure back onto them rather than on you because you're the current world champion, just as soon as you see one of them touch down on a tack or a jibe or any manoeuvre, just say, "No flight controller, you've lost it. You need a flight controller." Just start. So they've lost all the technique. Just get into them that way. Slingsby puts it on, touches down. Just go. You're missing Jace. You're missing Jace.
You've lost your fluffer. No more fluffer.
I tell you what, I think if you guys sailed the Moth guys, you'd be blooming good just from your banter alone, to be honest.
Well, like I said, I'd never make it out of the boat.
Talking your way to the top.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, all talk, mate. It doesn't often work on the race course, but it goes okay in points.
Mattias, we're all about the fun. You see, we're those blokes at the back having a laugh.
Oh, that's great.
All right, cool. All right, mate. I think we're sort of we're at our time. I really appreciate you come. Yeah, unfortunately, we got to. He's got to get some. He's got to go to bed.
Get a bit of shut eye. I'm sure these Moth guys don't get out. It's a Friday night in Lake Garda. No, that'll be pretty shit.
I know. Look, guys, I can see his dad in the background with an ice cream. It's bedtime. I can sense.
No, that's a frog, mate.
Oh, yeah. For all the listeners, we have to explain it like that. It's BP's not being rude about Russ. Mattias actually has a frog as his screensaver behind his screen behind him.
Now. Don't tell me you've just had an interview with the French America's Cup team. I'll fit right in.
Oh, fantastic banter, boys.
Oh dear. Yeah. Anyway, mate. Best of luck at the Worlds, and for and for
Absolutely.
the build up to 28. Like, I hope it goes really well for you.
Yeah,
Really,
shit up.
it'll be good fun. We'll watch with interest. And if you want, input, we can just send you messages all through the regatta just to help out.
Yeah,
And
Appreciate
don't
it.
forget,
not
I'll
these
be
wankers
sure
again.
don't forget,
I'll be
you've
sure to
officially got
ask you
the.
guys if I'm getting out bantered. I'll be sure to ask you guys. That's for sure.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine, and just don't forget you've got the reverse curse. So,
yes.
Don't use it,
Lightly.
willy nilly. But make sure you bring it out at the right time.
100%, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Nice, mate. Awesome, Mattias. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
often said, just final bit of advice here, this is basically the future of yachting right here at the Moth Worlds, where all you guys cut your teeth to be the step into the professional lane. So this is where it's at, cutting your trade. Lake Garda, love it. Good luck, mate.
Yeah, good luck, mate. Have
Cheers
fun.
for that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Nice, mate. It's going to be the place to be,
Oh yeah.
Lake Garda.
Yeah. Right.
And
yeah.
I'm just, as we were recording, like I was saying, I was going through the list, and you got like plenty of guys there. The Phil Robertsons, I don't know what flag he'll be wearing.
Yeah.
Multiple. I should have mentioned it, but
It'd be like a yacht club at opening day.
oh mate, it'd be like the bunting, the Phil Robinson bunting.
Yeah, the aerodynamics
nation's
don't work
flag.
for him. Yeah, too many flags on the mantle. Oh, I love it.
No, smart kid.
Yes.
And as kind of mentioned right at the end there, like this is where the future of yachting is cutting their teeth, essentially.
100%.
And as you mentioned, Jordan, 2013, 2014, whatever, all America's Cup
Since
skippers.
2014. Yeah. So Nathan.
It is it's a fantastic lineup. Mattias is going to cream him. Now he's got the reverse curse as well. So good luck to the young man.
Yeah.
Super cool to see.
Yeah. It's exciting. I think we're all into it. Obviously, the Moth has gone to that place where it is the future. Like there's plenty of classes that are dragging the future come out of the 49er and the Fin. The Fin used to be the one, but the Moth is definitely one of the premier classes at the moment, particularly for creating your own brand. Speaking of brands, I've got to say we have a long and lasting relationship with Radix Nutrition. Obviously, it's a great.
Mate, you got better. The segue is just unbelievable. I haven't been here for 2 weeks, and you've just rolled into it like a complete natural.
It's just natural, yeah. There's no.
I can't believe Coca-Cola is going to get you on board next.
Oh, we get, but I mean, the time with Radix is obviously because it's the right thing. Like we knock back all our sponsors. I mean, there's.
Cigarettes, booze.
Yeah, we knock them all back.
Coca-Cola.
We knock them all back because we're chasing the right things. We don't want the youngsters getting knocked around because, with Radix, like
Look
for
at
example, they got you could go the keto meals, which are low carb, high performance meals, plant based. It's just perfect. So it's complete nutrition in a format that's suitable for those following a low carb diet, which some of us need to be on, with high protein, low sugar, and all natural ingredients. They got great keto meals. Just in case you're wondering,
not to mention the time factor. Just have it there with you.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different flavors. But anyway, if you do you want to grab some Radix and you need to be on your game, just go to Radix Nutrition, use Bar Karate as your discount code, and happy days. All right.
Bloody awesome.
Awesome indeed. Righto, let's move on. Events, boys. It's busy. Things are busy, aren't they? Like
Busy.
You're back home in
busy.
Australia, and now you're off to all the dance recitals and
Oh, didn't I? Yeah, just a quick little tidbit. I was fortunate enough to go and watch the soccer game last night that Toby was playing in, 10-year-old soccer, and it was like the local derby.
Yes.
But the best part of it,
the sideline punch-ups.
mate. I tell you what, the mums, unbelievable. And let's face, like, Australian's the wrong word, but call it your typical football, as in AFL football parent.
Yeah.
Pretty quiet on the sideline. Your typical soccer parent, of a bit more emotion is involved. Let's say that.
Well, you got to
just
compensate
loved it.
for the game. You know, you got to have
Loved
more
it.
emotion in the crowd for the lack of emotion, lack of.
Oh, there was definitely no lack of that last night. It was
I'm
bloody
fully
cheers, game on.
experienced. I'm fully experienced at it as well. Every Sunday morning, I look forward to it more than anything else right now.
Absolutely. Put
soccer
your
day.
paper down, just watch the mums just going at it. Unbelievable.
Take the chair.
Yep.
Take the chair. You take the chair down the park. You put it in the grass. Make sure you don't put it in a muddy bit because you sink a bit. But
There's. I've always
It's what
thought
sailing needs. Basically, you should put sailing on about the size of the course of the soccer.
Yeah,
the soccer oval.
Well,
yeah.
Are we going back to that again?
No. So I wonder if there's a business idea.
Here we go.
You know, there's always, to me, seemed to be the opportunity to set up a YouTube channel where you just film all the boat ramps, you know, like all those.
All those dudes leaving the Miami bloody outlet or whatever.
Yeah, like that dude. Yeah. But, you know, like launching boats on boat ramps, you know, and all the mistakes that people make. I reckon there could be a thing for filming all the local kids' soccer games, just to film the punch-ons.
Just for the parents.
The parent thing. You could just have the parent cam. I reckon that would be that'd be a good channel, I reckon. I'd watch it.
I might actually wear that next week. I'll put my 18-foot skiff helmet on with the camera on top and just walk.
With your mullet wig.
Just walking around. Nah.
Well, that's another place where the mullet does shine in the soccer world. So, just bring it out. So, anyway.
What were we talking about?
Events.
Sailing
Events. There's a couple of important ones, but the big one next week, obviously there's plenty going on this week. We mentioned it in the last few, but the one kicking off next week is the TP52 World Champ. So we're in
Cascais
in Portugal.
Oh, and guess what?
What?
Yeah,
I'm going to Don Manolo, the Frango shop.
Tom!
I booked it in.
Be careful you don't get locked in, son.
I've got a few high-class meetings taking place.
At Don Manolo's?
Don't worry. I know the restaurant.
Yeah.
€9, get half a chook, hot chips, and red wine with a meniscus.
Exactly.
And that's lunch. And that's lunch. What are you having for dinner?
Well, as I was telling Coxie the other day, I just love the story that we ate there 8 times in 1 week.
So non-Portuguese listeners or Lisbon-based listeners, Cascais in Portugal, Don Manolo's Chicken Restaurant, or Frango, the best Frango in town.
They call it.
It's very much an iconic spot. So, yes.
And is there any sailing on there, or?
There's the World Championships.
Yeah, the
TP52s.
Okay. So just either side of a chicken mung, you've got some racing going on.
Well, and it could be either or. Well, actually, it won't be. It'll be windy. It'll be awesome. It's probably one of the best places to sail. So,
and a little bit of Atlantic swell always creates a grande spectacular.
Water temperature about 6 bloody degrees, freezing cold.
Yeah. Anyway, World Champs underway. So good luck to all the competitors in that. That is definitely of interest. I do want to highlight, boys, got to give a bit of local from an Australian perspective. The Australian Sports Boat Association have got a new touring trophy series that they're going to be doing this year. They're trying to bring the sports boats back. And the first event is going to be Airlie Beach Race Week, which is a great event. So...
Mate, if we don't get the Bark Riding Magic 25 and go and join this show, something
where is
will be
it?
wrong.
Where is it?
Airlie Beach, bruz. What, the Magic... The Bark Riding Magic 25.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant.
Already.
Yeah. It's up there ready to go.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, BP, I did come up with an idea. I don't know if you saw it on our little banter. I sent a note to the team banter. why don't we buy a couple of blow carts and start our own match racing series in blow carts?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, we know how that ends. Bicey's response was.
Exactly. I believe one Mike the Moose Sanderson, his buck show, Baltimore, picture it, 2006 Baltimore Volvo Ocean Race stopover. We thought we'd go for a bit of blow karting beforehand. Yeah, she doesn't end up any good.
I just reckon you put match racing into the equation, and like if you get the speed that those things go.
Stop it! Stop! Okay, you need a jousting stick. One.
Oh, but they're bloody expensive. They're going for about $450 a pop now.
This is that how much they want for him? Tell him he's streaming.
It's but you know, like the speed element is you develop all the same tactics as the cup boats now, because match racing in a blow cart, and I mean, obviously you have to think of the rules. How many pushes you get on the sand with your hand before it's illegal? You know, all that. It'd be fun. You can pick up a blow cart for cheap. I just thought of it. I saw a couple for sale. I thought, you know what, Barker blow carts.
How much?
It was 2 for 2,000.
No. Tell him they're dreaming.
Anyway, Sports Boat Trophy Series, Early Beach, blah, blah, blah. Continue on. Let's move on, because these two are just going off. They're just in a giggling fit now. Jack Lloyd, Listener of the Week. Obviously, it's been a while since we've mentioned, you've had to discuss it, Bice, but our friends at Vycobi, who are where you go to source our UV tops.
Stop it.
What?
Let me just talk a little bit. Having just competed in the UK IRC Nationals, we got not the first batch, because I'm sure there's out there a lot of stuff out there already, but of the Vycobi team kit on the final. Beautiful stuff. They haven't quite made it into the underwear department yet, but that's as smooth and silky as that shirt as you're ever going to get, my friend.
It is, isn't it?
Oh,
beautiful.
Love a bit of smooth and silk. It's looking good too. I saw the photos.
Yeah. So obviously, Vycobi give us a couple of $100 worth of gear every month, which we give back to you guys for the listener of the month. And we are in negotiations with Pat around using that material for undies, for the
for the bar karate budgie smuggler challenge.
Budgie challenge. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Righto, let's find out. Has anyone sent us any notes during the week? I do have to check, because I think we got some. If I go to the mail, I reckon one of we had a great episode last week. We talked about the Stockholm Archipelago raid, and I got an email from Archie Massey, but it wasn't. It was from Sven, and now my bloody computer's just died. I need to sign in. Oh, God. Nerd.
Talk about technology.
Yeah, I know. It's I'll fix it. It only takes me a sec, because I've got this little shortcut that I go through. But anyway, so this,
do you want me to read it out?
No, I got it. So, hi,
but
Jordan.
I want you to do it with a Swedish accent, please.
Oh, then you read it out, please, if you could do it.
Hi, Jordan. This is Sven from Sweden here.
I am your loyal listener.
No, this is cool. Like Sven.
No, sorry.
No, we need
Sven,
to recognise
sorry, mate,
Sven.
not taking the piss. Absolutely.
I am your loyalist listener. From episode 1 with Boris. So Sven, mate, you bloody legend.
Yeah.
Legend, Sven.
Gold stars to Sven.
I was totally inspired by that beautiful letter from Harvey, which was what was on last week, and his story of adventure and family. So inspirational. For years, I've looked out over the skerries of Saltsbaden.
Saltensgaarden.
Yep, that's correct.
No, the Australian one is Salts Joe Baden.
Yeah, Salts Joe Baden. Oh, not Salts Joe Biden. Oh, I'm
not Joe Biden.
Salty Joe Biden.
Salty Joe Biden.
That's how he's still going.
It is actually quite that. It is. Salts Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
And admired my Viking colleagues heading off on raids. Those F-18s look so much fun. I shall be joining them this year. Sven, you legend.
There we go.
Sven.
There we
They
go.
say many a true word spoken in mirth. Harvey may have joked about the half toothbrush, but I see it as a game changer. See my wash bag below. Sure enough,
There it is.
he's got the half toothbrush and some earplugs.
And
butt plugs.
some ibuprofen.
Yeah, ibuprofen. Just 3 days to go to my biggest adventure.
And that little toothpaste thing from the airplane you get.
Yeah, the 15 miller. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's good for about 8 squeezes.
Love it. Kind regards, Sven. Now, obviously, that's on this week, so we might, like we did mention that we might try and reach in, but Sven, love the email and love the fact that you've been with us since day one. That is very, very cool.
Shit up.
Well, Jay, I mean, you remember last week we actually did call upon the Raiders to get in touch with us. So, Sven, it's pretty damn good timing.
Yeah. So we will try and get we'll try and reach out. I'm certain that's one thing we're going to do. Anyway. Got an email here. I'm using this one to highlight just how involved we are in the scene. Hi guys, hope you've been well. Can you pretty please help promote the following flagship events coming up for Southport Yacht Club? The Gold Coast Mackay Yacht Race. That's the sequel. Entry list has grown. Might introduce a TP52 class division this year. Big news to come on spectator front. Now, I will say we did publicise that last week, just in case you weren't listening. And I did highlight that the wonderful team from Down Under Sail is actually going to be doing a live stream. So you'll be able to watch the start of that regatta,
nice.
that event. They're going to have...
Fourth leg.
Yep, it's going to be great. So they're going to have commentary. They're going to have, that talented team putting on the show. So... been in discussions with young Harry throughout the week. The other one that's coming up is the Sail Paradise Regatta. So this is a new regatta in October, early October, 4th to 6th, which it's the 16th year. It's the Queensland Yachting Champs. And it is also next year the Australian Yachting Championship. So going to be a few classes there. And then they've got their Coral Sea Point Score Series. So Queensland, Southport Yacht Club, which is a great yacht club on the Gold Coast of Australia, is just doing a whole bunch of stuff. So any questions or queries, just holler. So Adrian Bowl, holler.
Holler.
So if you got a boat and you're keen, come on up, go to the Gold Coast and go for a yacht. The other one that I do have to mention is one of our loyal listeners is John Schaefer.
Yes.
How good was that email?
Yes, very good.
I didn't read it.
I've had...
Go on, BP.
No, I've had quite a few comms with him actually over the last couple of weeks, and this was a high point. Talking about this whole thing, the crisis management email, which is interesting.
It's brilliant. So obviously, John runs Ministry of Sailing, and he does a whole bunch of safety stuff and rescue stuff, and he puts it to test. He is an enthusiastic individual, and he throws a lot of energy at stuff. But he wants to talk about crisis management plan. The moment to discover a crisis management plan is broken is not during a crisis. Because of this, we have developed a tabletop exercise which simulates a regatta crisis, so we can help clubs, events, and regattas prepare for a crisis. And now this is front of mind for all the sorts of stuff. It came about because we're going to put together an episode around boat preparation, about personal preparation and boat preparation for going into major events.
It's important to note here, Jay, while you're talking here, because this whole crisis management thing, although there's an element of yacht clubs, regattas, events, it's also very, very interesting for you and I. It's very interesting to have this, what the syllabus of this course and what he's talking about is how to be preempt and understand the situation as it's unfolding, and it's based. And I'm expanding on this because I've actually been talking to him a little bit about it. It comes from his experience in the military.
Yep,
that was his major job. His major job was crisis management, and it's pretty knowledgeable. And a lot of people still have this won't happen to me attitude. And on the back of the CYCA releasing their reports for last year's Sydney Hobart, you think of what is happening in this world now, and this whole new philosophy of crisis management is something that I think has got legs, and I think that the world should take this very, very seriously.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. So we'll explore that even further. It's sort of the program's designed to enhance preparedness, improve your communication, and validate training by simulating real world scenarios. So it's interesting. I really appreciate that, because that's something we're focused on. If we want people to go sailing, we want them to go sailing and have a great time. And it always does strike me as a bit weird that, people haven't prepared themselves. When the shit hits the fan, they're not ready. So I
Correct.
I think we're going to try and start talking about that and bring that to the fore, not just do reports that are released and disappear into the ether. So
it's forever evolving.
I'm just looking at our CMT, the crisis management team, right here on our screens for the Barkarati, the sailing podcast.
Yep.
Yes.
This is it. It's what it's all about. Putting all those elements in place.
I mean, the ocean race have, that crisis management team.
I still have the booklet just sitting just over there on my desk. It doesn't apply to my marriage, but what it does, I'm not sure what media, not sure what media outlets to contact.
That's not CMT, Bicey, that's PMT.
No, stop. All right. We're very lucky, man. We've got lovely wives. We're very happy.
100%. We're
100%.
lucky. Yeah.
I tell you what, I couldn't have done what I've done in the last 2 or 3 weeks without my beautiful wife, Raquel. She's nailed it.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right, so
I've got to say something. No.
Couple of good emails there, but send them in to us at cheers@barkarati.com, and happy days. We'd love to hear from you, and maybe you can get some Kobe gear.
It's hot time with Bice.
It is this time.
So I took my hot time with Bice. I took my hot time with Bice tracksuit pants away with me, right? And I have been sharing rooms, one with a good mate of mine, Edwin O'Connor, on the Galatea tour, and then another mate, Jim Turner.
Jimmy boy.
Yeah, old Jimmy. JT.
Yeah. Bimbo.
And I got out of bed the other morning, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I just started humming away, "Hot time with Bice." Whoop! Whipped the trackies off. I said, "Well, if there's something I've missed, that's hot time with Bice." He didn't quite get it. This sounds a bit weird, you weirdo. Get out of here. Rightio, where are we? What's been happening? Oh, the Cape 31 UK Nationals going on at the moment.
Yes.
Currently being led by Sandy Askew's team. Flying Jenny with Rob Greenhouse on board. Caught up with Bob, the original test rig, last weekend, actually.
It's become a tradition on our show, actually, to say, why haven't we had Rob on the show? I mean, it's almost an ongoing joke.
You know how many times I've asked him?
He'll come on.
Well, I did have him on the show. I kind of made out we were on the show last Sunday night after the regatta, chatting. There was a bit of Barkarati going on, let's put it that way.
We can do that sort of whole Matt Damon with Jimmy Kimmel thing where he never comes on. We always apologise for not having time to have him on the show. But anyway, we'll get him on one day.
Yep.
We'll try. We'll keep trying.
That's going on at the moment. Got how many votes? Probably 15 or so. But yeah, I know we've spoken about it, but seeing though the Cape 31s on the Solent last week, super cool.
Yeah.
It's super impressive.
And then they've got the fleet, which is growing on the Med as well, not to mention other places around the world.
Australia, little fleet trying to grow. Yep.
Here. So, what else we got going on, boys? We've got got a little note here, Jordan, and we saw it come through with the socials, the new Gitana, which is going to be launched in the next couple of months with their new livery, let's say.
Yeah.
Very
livery.
The way that the videos that they put out, not giving anything away for all the top secret things happening within the boat and within the team.
You got any?
But it's gonna turn some heads.
Got any inside goss?
vessel.
You're building the mast?
No, negative, mate. No inside goss. It's just pure, just watching with pleasure. Let's say.
So
to see what this end of the fleet is doing.
The old
we've
team.
gone from Mattias to the old teams.
Wow,
going to be awesome.
That'd be cheap to build that, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah, just a small little vessel, right at the top end of technology.
Yeah.
Let's say. And also saw during the week some power to the women. SCA since their 10-year win. Now that was good, but something that was even better was Yoka, Brad Jackson, and Richard Mason walking down the dock and Axel Magdal walking down the dock in Lorient in pink suits.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I wanted to touch on this because it was 10 years since the SCA thing, and remember the all women team won in the import race in Abu Dhabi, I think it was. I remember that win and being good. We saw Martine Graal and the Brazilian Sail GP
have that winning a race. Yes,
yeah,
wonderful.
And they look really, really good. And then during the week, they had in the US the what was it? I think it's the Pacific or East Coast. I'm trying to remember the exact terminology. I've got to remember the report. Hang on, I'll quickly dive to it. The Pacific Coast Championships. Okay, and so that's 5-0s, and it was won by AJ Conrads. Now AJ is a lovely lass, a good friend. She's very talented sailor, sailing with John Bell, and beat out past world champions, so Howie and Mike.
AJ Belly just knocking it on the head.
Yeah.
Well done.
But what the whole point of this is, I'm just getting to show. I just want to congratulate those, but it's just good to see. Our sport is a combination of to be good at it. There's so many different things, you've got to have strength, you've got to have tactics, you've got to have all these different skills to succeed at different times. And so being able, are we genuinely a sport where women are equal to men? And everyone's starting to realise it. I think in my mind, we mentioned it in the past, the youngsters see it that way, and it's only us old-fashioned blokes that don't.
Well, I'll tell you who didn't see it the other way, who does see it that way.
Yeah.
And that is a friend of the show, Abby Ayler.
Yeah.
Last week. She was sailing on Black Pearl.
Yep.
We're on final race of the day.
Yeah.
We're coming across the finish line, wind against tide, 25 knots. We're coming across on starboard. They're coming across on port. Half a boat length from the finish line, we blow up our tack shuttle, and the jib almost rips out of the foil. So we end up in irons on the finish line, trying to get the jib down, whilst Black Pearl was come smoking across and had to kind of avoid us. Abby, she was pretty handy on the abuse, let me tell you. Fair enough. Not quite realising what was going on, that we were in a bit of strife, and we didn't exactly clear the finish line because we had no choice. But mate, everything is equal out there, my friends.
I love it. I just we've just been talking the Moss, Hattie Rogers, she just smashes it. There's so many great sailors out there, and we're so happy to see, I just think the sport's better. Our sport's a great sport where we are actually competing equally, and I think it's fantastic. So, just wanted to highlight that, and congratulations to AJ because, she's a quite determined individual and a good human being. So well done to AJ and John in that. So that was cool.
And speaking of which, and plenty more women on the water at the Swan Worlds.
Yes.
Currently taking place in Porto-Cervo.
Yeah.
40-odd boats across the different classes, 28s up to the 50s. And it's kind of one of those regattas that you have to be at. Well, if you're Italian, you definitely got to be there.
Mm.
And if you're on the Med, no better time to be in Port of Chervais right now as part of the Swan Worlds.
Which boat would you take, guys? Like if you had to own one, like you got they got the 28 now, the Club Swan 36,
36,
the 50 or the 42.
I think on a blow, a 36 would be a bit of fun downwind.
Yeah.
Not sure they go too well upwind, but who cares?
No.
Just go fast, just bomb alley and just smoke it around the back there.
I reckon the 28 looks pretty cool too.
28 would be pretty cool. Yeah.
They do definitely look cool.
I think the whole format's bloody awesome. I mean, if you can get to that stage with your designs and seeing the whole Swan format is awesome. I love it.
So maybe you could have X2, X3, X4, X5 EP.
Just be careful what you're talking about.
What about the IRC champs
last week? That thing. Yeah, okay. That went pretty well.
There you go. Well done.
That was good.
Next.
Mate, no. It was absolute glamour, Solent conditions.
So that was part of the Royal Thames
Sorry,
Yacht
is
Club.
that glamour and Solent in the same sentence?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Oh, mate, it's possibly the second best place to sail in the world.
So it's 2 degrees, plenty of rain. Was that so that was part of the Royal Thames Yacht Club's
250th.
Yeah. So it was a
Correct.
massive event. Yep.
So essentially, and a warm-up event for the Admiral's Cup.
Yeah,
So
like
let's call it the majority of the teams were there.
Yep.
The big boats were, Beaujest taken out by Beaujest, only due to a bit of an error on the last day by Caro, who were looking at it, who were looking good.
10 points to 10.5 points. Wow.
Yeah. So that was tight. So basically the Friday was a drifter and the Saturday was up to 25. Last race of it's like 3 races, 2 Windward Lords and a bit of it around the cans. Last race of the day, 25, wind against tide. But just remind me, it is a super cool place to sail.
Yeah,
you've got breeze, you've got tide, you've got shallow areas, you've got the banks, you've got everything going on. So no wonder they produce some bloody good navigators out of the UK because everyone's a navigator, essentially.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Getting the ley lines is the impressive part for me when they just pick it and they go, you've got to tack now. And I'm looking going, holy Jesus.
That's because we've got about 3 knots of tide under us.
Yeah. That's it. But they're good at it. They're good at it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Carl Quark had a good week, didn't he? Because
the Beaujest team. So
he won both IRC and IRC
Bow
one.
Ideal.
Oh, no, Ideal.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the Beaujest.
Yeah.
So the Beaujest being a TP52, the Bow Ideal being a new Botine 40-footer just recently launched. Both sporting wonderful Southern Spars rigs, by the way. And thanks for that, Gavin, because I was able to pay for my child's education this year. But, mate, what it did highlight, the Admiral's Cup is going to be an event like we've not seen for quite a long time.
Yeah,
it is going to be awesome. 14, 15 teams, whatever the number is now.
I had a chat the other day to someone about this, and I feel like it's just like a bit of a reboot. You know, I really do feel like that it can reboot the whole industry because it's been a bit sort of flaccid, one might say.
Well,
flaccid.
I'm interested. I do want to ask a question, right? So obviously with the Admiral's Cup, so with that IRC regatta, obviously that's around the cans, blah, blah, blah. But with the Admiral's Cup, you've got to go and do the Fastnet. And the Fastnet's a proper offshore race. And so some of the boats will perform in a different, the way you set your boat up is slightly different. So I'm interested how those results will change around. But
Absolutely. Yeah, and they're quite weighted, the offshore races as well. Like there's a short offshore and then a longer and then obviously the longer offshore with the Fastnet. So
it definitely puts the cat amongst the pigeons, as they say.
Well, one would say a diamond amongst the rough.
Absolutely,
have been heard to say so. And being on one of those more offshore orientated boats,
Yeah.
The final
Final,
for
yeah.
Ex-Warrior 1.
Yeah.
The way it is set up and seeing some of the 52s and the 40s is like, ooh, could be a long way going to Fastnet Rock.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So that is something to consider. There is another thing
and
to consider.
And of course, the mindset of sailing in a configuration like that. It's been a long time since we've had an inshore and offshore combined event. So there's going to be mentality things going on.
Had been discussed, do we change this particular element to be more suited to inshore, but then that compromises your offshore and you end up in the middle and basically fuck the whole show up. So that's not, so you got to maintain sail to your strengths, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
And consolidate 100%. The weaknesses. So
the other question that has to be asked is, which boat is Warrior going to extend? Is it going to be the Bow Jest or the Bow Ideal?
Next on the list.
Next on the list.
Just lastly to mention, like our boat, she's pretty quick downwind, right? The 52.
Yeah.
But these 40-footers, holy shit, they are so cool.
Yeah.
Like the modern day 40-footer, mate, they are smoking, doing the same speed as a 50-footer downwind.
Love it.
Awesome.
I want a cruising boat just like that. All right.
Hey, I've got one to add into events, if you don't mind, lads.
What's that?
Oh, that was about 8 segments ago.
Yeah.
We're a hot time with Bice.
No, events. What do you call it? A hot time with Bice. A hot time with Bice. I've got something to add in there. Last week, the Royal Cornwall Yacht Club ran the Triangle Race. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one.
Oh, no, go on, hit us.
Okay.
Is that like the cowbell race?
You got to pick up a pasty from each corner. Is that what it is?
No. It starts off in Falmouth. It was run last week. Royal Cornwall Yacht Club. You start off in Falmouth. I did a leg across to Ireland to Kinsale. Then another leg back to I don't know how to pronounce this one. In France.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then back up to Falmouth. Now this is a good solid week and a half or even more of solo and double-handed sailing, which is obviously still large. There was 40 plus boats in the event, and it was a huge success. So that was the first time it's been run for a while. So just wanted to mention that.
Oh, it's good to hear the Triangle Race is back on track.
Yeah,
like it.
So keep an ear out for that one in the future.
How do the Frenchies say triangle?
Triangle.
Triangle.
And then finally on my list.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't know if I've been peppered with spam, but the Fin Masters, Fin World Masters, mate, they're everywhere. Everything's going on.
I know.
Like they're posting shit about all sorts of different. So obviously the regatta is going on.
Yeah.
But they're posting stuff about all sorts of different regattas. Is this part of their marketing campaign?
It's the build-up.
1.
Yep.
2. It's going to be a massive regatta. Fins.
Yeah, but I sent you a link, boys. Did you listen to the song that they've come up with?
Negatory.
I did hear you start to sing it earlier, and it's kind of Let's just discuss that for a second.
Well,
Can you play it? Can you play it?
I'm not sure. But anyway, it's like
put the link on the website.
Yeah, do something like that. But yeah, so it's somebody at the World Masters has come up with an Irish jig, and it says Meadow Blank, where we like to drink the beer, and PJ is so far in front no one can get near, sort of thing. You know, like it's that. It's quite funny. I don't know if it's meant to be funny, but it is very, very funny. I do think there is one other thing we need to mention, Bice, you haven't brought up.
Oh, do tell.
A bloke by the name of Pete Burling has agreed to move to Luna Rossa.
Oh, fuck yeah, we missed that one.
We've got our fingers on the pulse here.
It's kind of old news, to be honest, we kind of knew about this a few months back.
Right.
But
that's the thing about bar karate. We hear about it so early and we're not allowed to talk about it, and then we forget about it.
Yeah.
Holy shit, though. Pete Burling signs with the Italians. Huge news. But is it a surprise?
No, not at all.
Not really.
Zero.
Remembering he was the one who got cut, and he's got to make a living. I mean, sure, he's got mortgages and about 18 houses that he's got to pay for and shit like that.
Well,
he's got
let's be
things
honest.
to do, people to see.
Let's be honest. He was in negotiations with New Zealand and he had this in the back pocket. He'd been obviously made a massive offer by Luna Rossa and New Zealand couldn't get close to it. So that's why they split, right? So as Bicey said, he's got 18 houses to maintain and he's got to buy another 32. So he's a bit focused on that. But because Josh Jr.'s already gone over in a coaching role over there. Josh, fantastic bloke, so it'd be good for Pete to hang out with. So it's not just all Italians, but obviously the other thing though is that the nationality rule's not going to change. So Pete can't sail. Like I don't think that he'll be able to. So he'll be able to compete in the other boat, I guess, the training boat. Like he'll be.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Basic team fluffer. I believe that was on the contract. Pete Burling, the position fluffer.
Well, so the Italian boat, like we know it's going to be Max Gradoni and Righedo Tita will be the helms. And so he's going to try and work them over as hard as possible in training, I guess, is what's going to happen. So, but yeah, it's really interesting. So anyway, yeah, that's a big deal. But, all respect to him, he's a professional sailor. He does need to make his money while he can, and I suspect he's making a quite significant amount of money. So,
here to Pete. And whilst we kind of said, is it a surprise? No, it's not a surprise. It's just the way pro yachting's going. What the only disappointment I see is we're not going to see the guns on the wood.
Oh well, I still think that those two guys on the Italian boat.
No, by all means, taking nothing away from them.
Yeah, I think they're going to be unreal.
But there's a lot of very talented sailors sitting on the sidelines.
What's Blair going to do?
He was sailing for the New Zealand team.
Team New Zealand.
Yeah, he's fine.
How are they going to? But they're separated.
Yeah, they've been separated before. They're fine. They're still together.
Matt Frey, Brunel, if we remember, Bob Ocean Racing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good. It's all good. They're still together in their little company together. So, but it's all good. But
Live
it's interesting.
Ocean, Black Foils. Yep, beautiful.
Happy days. All right. So I think that's us, boys. Anything else?
Oh, good. Nah, happy to be back.
Oh, mate.
And
good.
Like I said, we could probably do a separate one just for our Patreon listeners. Oh, hang on, we don't have one of them.
We don't charge people. We give our money away.
On a bit of banter about what's going on. So, yep.
I think we could do that. We got so much going on though. It's bloody hard, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, she's hard. But anyway,
stop your whinging.
Always good, lads.
Yep.
Always.
Yes.
Good.
Absolute joy, and thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Great to have you back, boys.
Love it.
Obviously, just keep listening. Send us anything you've got at cheers@barkarati.com. Go to Radix Nutrition, search Radix Nutrition, use Barkarati as the discount code, one word. And for those Bitey modelling the beautiful hoodie that we've got, just go to the Cheers Barkarati website. For that, and if you want the UV top when you're in the warms, you go to the Vycobi site.
Stop it.
Just got the whole lot.
Actually put that on our website as well?
Yeah.
Maybe not. The link?
Yeah, you should do it.
Anyway, go to vycobi.com. You'll see it there.
Yeah. See ya.
See everyone. Have a great week.
See you, BP.
Bye.
It's been awesome having you in your studio this morning.
Oh, it's a beautiful studio. It's shaped like a Holden Commodore. I've done it up like a Commodore. It's actually very good. It's very soundproof.
I like it. Yeah, I think I might have woken the neighbours up just quietly.
Come on.
I definitely woke Milo, the dog, up, the cavoodle.